Hi, I'm Aaron Phillips, Digital Media Specialist here at Cuivre River Electric Cooperative, and you're listening to Plugged In.
This is Plugged In. I'm Rod Smirker. Today's episode features President and CEO Doug Tracy's address from our recent annual meeting. In his remarks, Doug discusses pricing challenges facing the energy industry, upgrades being made to strengthen our electric system, and the outstanding employees who make it all possible.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today at the annual meeting. I want to talk a little bit about what's been going on at Cuivre River the past few years, or past year since we last had our annual meeting. We have officially gone over the 75,000 member mark within the last couple of weeks. So we were able to celebrate that. That puts us I think most people know we're the largest cooperative in the state of Missouri, but that puts us right now at 52nd largest in the country out of almost 900 cooperatives. So we're continuing to grow. We're going to add about another 1,500 meters this year. And we're grateful for that and thankful. But what a milestone for your cooperative to hit 75,000 and continue to grow. Now, as part of that growth, there's a cost that comes with that. And you're going to hear me talking a lot about what's going on with your rates. And one question you may have is, why are my rates going up? Because they have gone up. We want to be very transparent about that. They've gone up, and I would love to tell you that that's done, and they're not going to go up anymore. But that's unfortunately not what I can tell you today. And I'm going to try to explain why some of those pressures are hitting the rates. First of all, infrastructure cost. This is a graph that was put together by our national organization that just shows the cost increases within the last 5 years. So it doesn't matter if it's wire, if it's transformers, if it's poles, if it's fleet and equipment, if it's inventory, whatever it is, the costs are gone up anywhere from about 30 to 60% just within the past 5 years. So we have to continue to pay that because we're growing, and we have to go out and get infrastructure improvements as we continue to meet the needs of our co-op. Along with this growth, we're also working on our $62 million work plan that we devised here about 2 or 3 years ago. That work plan involves a lot of necessary maintenance and upgrades. A lot of the system out there, we have almost 6,000 miles of line, and that takes some maintenance. Some out there are 50 to 60 years old, and so we can't just say, hey, costs are high, we need to let that go. We have to continue to maintain those and upgrade the system as it is needed. Also, our transmission company, Central Electric in Jefferson City, is also doing the same thing and upgrading the transmission system, which some of that is original from the 1950s. In order to keep that reliability where you expect it to be and where we expect it to be, we have to go ahead and maintain that. They have a $400 million work plan that they're utilizing to keep their transmission system upgraded and maintained. And as part of their system, Cuivre River helps to fund that as well. So some pressures along that line. But as far as why are the rates going up, those are some of the reasons why. But I'm going to give you the biggest reason. I talked about this a little bit last year, but it's because our generation company, Associated Electric in Springfield, Missouri, has 2 gas peaker plants that are under construction. And these are needed to keep the capacity because we were short on capacity. Just from our member load perspective, there's a lot of talk right now about data centers and large loads. That is not why these are being built. This is built just to serve member load as the growth continues to happen on Associated system in the 3-state area. This is a picture of Ripley, the new gas peaking plant that is being built currently in Oklahoma. This will be about a 420 to 440 megawatt gas peaker plant that will help meet the needs of our members for the next several years. Here's another shot. You can see there's a lot going on with the construction process on that. This is scheduled to be completed in the fourth quarter of 26. So we're about another year and a half away from this being online, but that's going to go a long way to help with the reliability of not only Cuivre's membership, but Associated's membership as a whole. And then just recently, this is in Turney, Missouri, which is just north of Kansas City. This power plant is just broken ground and construction has started on that, which will be basically identical to the one at Ripley. It'll be another 420, 440 megawatt power plant that will also be put online. This one will probably be around fourth quarter of 27. That will come online to keep that reliability there and to keep meeting the needs. So I've just shown you three pictures. If you've ever wondered what $2 billion looks like, it's those three pictures. Between the two plants and the transmission that it takes to hook all those plants into the grid, we're looking at about $2 billion that it takes to get those plants. So I showed this slide last year, and it really comes back to this. Why are your rates going up? Because the infrastructure increases are part of it, the work plan's part of it, the transmission system is part of it. The biggest part of it is obviously $2 billion for two power plants. But those have to be built. Otherwise, the reliability side of this scale is going to go lopsided. If your lights go off, that's not a good thing. So we have to keep building the capacity to keep up with the demand that you have not only come to expect, but you have to have. We know that you rely on electricity to do many things now, and without adding this additional generation, the reliability that you're used to having is going to become an issue. We are not the only ones that are facing this. Not only at Cuivre River, not only the state of Missouri. This is all over the country right now. If you've talked to anybody, if you have relatives in other states, these are just some headlines that I pulled from a quick search. This is happening all over everywhere. The cost is increasing, and really for the reasons that I just said. A lot of utilities are having to build more capacity to meet the demand that is currently out there. So getting a little bit closer to home, MISO, which is the red area that you see here, which we are not a member of MISO, the Regional Transmission Organization, but many around us and many in the state of Missouri are. Their rates this summer have gone up over 2,000% just for this summer. So if misery loves company, that's rough company to be in. But it just shows that this is an issue that is countrywide, trying to keep up with the demand for electricity by having enough capacity to meet that demand. So that's kind of some sobering news, and doesn't make us feel real good. But if there's anything that does make us feel good, is that in Missouri, we're still doing okay. Missouri is still the fifth lowest cost in the United States for electricity. So we could be in much higher situations, much more expensive, but we're still the fifth lowest. And if you can see, as you see from this slide, that the average for the United States is 17.47 cents a kilowatt hour. And in Missouri is 12.97. And then at Cuivre River, we're even under that at 10.3. So you can see how much percentage, almost 26% less than the Missouri average, and then almost 70% lower than the United States. And that's with our recent rate increase that we just implemented in April being a part of that. So we are trying really hard to keep those down. No one likes rate increases, and we don't like having to have them. So we're working very, very hard to try to keep those increases as low as possible. And one of the ways that we're doing that is, here you see where our 2024 expenses were. 60, almost 4% of our expenses come right from power costs. Our power costs are always right around the 62 to 67, 68% range. So there's a lot of that gets passed on to us. You all get your electric bill. Cuivre River gets an electric bill as well that we have to pay, so we can serve you with your electricity. So 64% of it was for power cost, 11% was the cost to operate and maintain the system, 8% to run the office and take the payments, and the rest was depreciation and interest. So if we can't control as much of the power cost, what can we control? We can try to control everything else. And we've been very successful and very good at that, and we continue to do that. We're now in the top 5% of co-ops in the country for controllable expenses, being as low as possible. And that's something that we continue to work on, and we will always continue to work on, keeping those costs as low as we can, controlling what we can control, knowing that other costs are going to go up, and that's going to create pressure on rates. So I spent a lot of time kind of talking about the low cost and the rate side of the scale. Let's talk a little bit about the reliability side, because again, we know how important it is that you have reliable electricity. It's even more and more important every day everything that we rely on to do it. So we're working hard. Our linemen do a fantastic job of keeping the power flowing. And looking at our service availability index, which is the percentage of time that electricity is on our system and available to you. Last year, we were 99.95% of the time, which is pretty good. This year, we upped that to 99.97% of the time. So our reliability numbers are very, very good, very strong, and we continue to work on that because we know how important that is. Now, does that mean you're never, ever going to have a power outage? No, I wish it did mean that, but with 6,000 miles of line, there's going to be things happen. There's going to be cars hit poles. There's going to be storms. There's going to be animals like you wouldn't believe that get into equipment. And so things happen, but our linemen do just an amazing job of getting it restored back as quickly as possible and keeping those numbers high because we know that reliability is important to you. Another thing we know is important to you is paying back capital credits. That's part of being a cooperative, and you as a member get to participate in the equity of that. And just a few weeks ago, you received checks for your portion that was retired this past year, $7.3 million that was returned back to you, the members. So that's nearly $50 million back to the members just in the last 7 years. We're very robust in how we retire capital credits, one of the most robust programs in the country, and we want to do that as much as possible because that's what makes us a co-op, and that's what makes us stand out in giving that back. And speaking of giving back, 2025 has also been a big milestone for our Operation Roundup program as we crossed over the $8 million mark. And that's coming from pennies that you, the members, have rounded up on your bills and are given back to charities, organizations, and also individuals. So $8 million is a lot of pennies that's added up. And we're very proud to hit that milestone this year. As always, I want to recognize our outstanding employee base. All they do, they are really the nuts and bolts of what makes this co-op go and what keeps the lights on and keeps service to you. Last year, within the past year, our linemen have not only worked to keep your lights on here on Cuivre System, but they've gone other places to do the same thing. Last fall, Hurricane Helene hit, and this group went down south and helped restore for almost a month the power to those that were impacted by the hurricane, working to serve them. And then just a couple of months ago, right here in our backyard in St. Louis County, if y'all remember the storms that came through in the spring and how many people that impacted, this group of linemen went into St. Louis County and helped to restore the power, again, because they know how important that is and how much it is needed. So they take such pride in their work and try to help as many as they can. Our linemen work in all sorts of conditions. This was within the past year. Just because it's snowing out or just because it's cold doesn't mean that we say, you know what, yeah, we're not going to hook up any services today. We'll just take the day off. They're out there working. If you remember here 3 or 4 weeks ago, it's a little hard to think about today because it's so beautiful, but 3 or 4 weeks ago when it was about 100 degrees, linemen don't take a day off of that either. They're out there continuing to do their jobs and working hard. So proud of them. And not only do our employees work hard, but they like to give back and they like to serve the community, which to me is what makes us a cooperative, that giving back. We live here, we work here, our kids go to school here. It's just part of who we are. Within the past year, our employees raised money for, this is from Veterans Coffee Talk here in Troy, a fantastic veterans group that does so much good for so many veterans. Standing out in the cold in February for a Heat Up St. Louis. Our employees volunteered both up here at our Troy location in Lake St. Louis to raise money for that. The 4th of July parade here in Troy, and we had a float there. We won first place with that float. The first year we've ever done that, we won first place. I was kind of proud of that. They did a fantastic job and had a great time there. Go to schools to do career days, but then also teach safety. We go all the way from about, I know one employee told me they had a kindergarten class this year that talked about electricity all the way up through high school. We let the kids try on the gloves. We got a lineman here that's kind of showing them how the bucket works and different things about it. We raised food, brought in food for local food banks, and just the way that our employees are just always looking for different ways to serve. And it's just, I'm so proud of the way that they do that and find ways to give back. I'm a little bit biased, but I think we got the best team around, and I couldn't be more proud of how they not only work to serve you, but the kind of people they are, and the kind of team that we've built here at Cuivre River. And we just truly appreciate them and all they do to serve you, the members. So, in closing, I would like to again thank you all for being members of Cuivre River Electric Cooperative and for participating today. And know that we do have some challenges. There's some rate pressures there, but we are going to get through these. We're going to navigate these. We're going to keep your lights on, but have that reliability. We know that scale is what both of you is what you need most as far as lower rates. Just keep them as low as possible and keep those lights on. And we just thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you. So on behalf of the management team, the employees, the board of directors, we just thank you for being here today, and thank you for being members of Cuivre River. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Plugged In from Cuivre River Electric Cooperative. You can watch the full recording of this year's annual meeting and view board election results at cuivre.com/annual meeting. Have a topic you'd like us to cover? Email your ideas to communications@cuivre.com. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode.